All right, I'll say good day to you. Welcome to this transmission, which we have titled Expect the Unexpected. There is, on your planet, something that has been labeled the chaos game. And we understand now that many people on your planet are experiencing a lot of chaos, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unexpected things, a lot of things going in directions you did not assume they would ever go. And so you usually refer to this as a chaotic experience. But this chaos game that you have underscores something very important. The chaos game goes something like this. If you take a piece of paper and you randomly place a dot with a pen on that piece of paper, and then according to a certain set of rules, you place another dot and another dot seemingly randomly on this piece of paper. And you keep doing this, dot after dot after dot after dot, until you literally have hundreds, if not thousands of dots on this piece of paper. By following the guidelines that are given for the chaos game, even though it may seem as if you are placing dots randomly on this piece of paper, what starts to emerge is an underlying pattern that reveals itself as a series of triangles, the underlying structure of the chaotic random pattern that you assumed you were creating. That it always leads to this underlying structure. No matter how random, no matter how chaotic things may be, there is always eventually, when enough incidents occur, as represented by each individual dot, this event, this event, this event, this event, the dots translating into different events within what appear to be the chaotic pattern, you start to see that there is an underlying structure, an underlying pattern. Mathematically speaking, the series of triangles that is created in the chaos game that underlies what appears to be the chaotic pattern is referred to by many mathematicians on your planet as a Sierpinski gasket, which is a series of triangles within triangles within triangles within triangles. It is a fractal image, a fractal structure that starts with large triangles and contains smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller triangles within each and every triangle that is created, thus revealing this underlying structure, this very regular pattern, even though you started out assuming that everything was random and chaotic. So we wish to extrapolate to you that even though things now across your planet may seem to be somewhat unpredictable and chaotic in many different ways and many different aspects of your society, sociologically, economically, politically, religiously, what have you, the idea to understand is that when enough events of this nature occur, you will start to see an underlying pattern, an underlying structure that will help you understand how to recreate the idea of stability in a new way, from a new perspective, from a new direction, that can, even out of all the chaos, create a new direction, a new stabilization for your society to move forward upon, a new framework upon which to build a new society, a new direction, allowing you to experience the kinds of changes that are necessary for the evolution of humanity in a positive direction. So you can always transform what at first may appear to be a lot of chaos. If you stay in a positive state, if you start to really look for the patterns, you start to allow yourself to relate to every event as if there is possibly some advantage you can gain, some lesson you can learn, some knowledge you can access in what's going on, and use it in a positive way, you can start to build this framework, start to build this structure, Start to see it more clearly for the direction it can point in, to allow you to move evolutionarily in the direction of a greater period of time, a greater expression of creativity, a greater experience of stability for humankind. That will lead you not only to open contact, but to your place in the galactic family to which you belong. So do not despair. Do not lose heart. The idea that you may have hopes and dreams is fine. But hopes and dreams allow you to simply stay in the state you need to be in so that you can finally perceive what it is you need to know in order to understand how an underlying structure underpins everything in your physical reality creation, no matter how chaotic on the surface things may appear. Remember that all of this is the product of life paths that have been chosen from spirit to help drive you in a direction that you prefer. But as we always remind you in the formula, you must stay in the positive state with everything that happens, or at the very least, remain in a neutral state. I'm not saying accepting things you don't prefer. A neutral state is just a state of observation that gives you the opportunity to decide how what happens will affect you personally in your life. So staying in that neutral or positive state will allow you to take advantage of whatever happens. Again, remembering it's not about what happens, it's about what you do with what happens. It's about the actions that you take in the direction of your preference with regard to what is happening, the responses that you give that are positively oriented, that can stave off the offers that are being made to you that may be out of alignment, that may be negative, that may be fear-based. But staying in that positive state will allow you to transform things that you will perceive as chaotic on the surface into this underlying structure. You will begin to perceive it in time. And that underlying structure will form the framework that will move you forward, that will create connectivity and stability between those of like mind to allow you to evolve in the direction that will benefit all humanity. So, right now you are riding the rapids, but the stream downstream is calm. You just have to get there. You just have to learn to maintain your balance so that you do not tip over the boat, the canoe, the kayak that you are using to ride these rapids. Maintain the balance. Stay true to yourself. Stay positive, or at least neutral. Observe how the chaos can add another dot, another event that can eventually reveal the underlying structure that reveals the direction you have all decided to go in, even though some of the impetus may seem to be negative and chaotic. It is all driving you forward if you use it that way. So we encourage you to stay in a space where ultimately the chaos can reveal the underlying patterns to you, that you can begin to see them, connect to them, to allow your heart to open up to them, and to feel the momentum of moving in a direction that will benefit all. So expect the unexpected, but use it to your advantage, because it's all about what you do with what happens. It's all about how you use the surprises, how you use the unexpected, how you use what you don't prefer to move you more clearly in the direction that you do prefer. The power is with you. Don't forget to act. Choose and act. Choose and act. Unexpected things can hold many surprises that are beneficial for humanity. Learn to use them to your advantage. That is what we have to say today. So, we will thank you for allowing us to share this with you.